All I want you to do, friend, when you hear something that sounds like a pretty sharp, hot take on one side, is for you to take that information in and say, there's got to be something more. There's got to be something more. There's got to be another side. The truth always lies in the middle. And it doesn't mean that we can't say, especially around certain things like racism and human rights and LGBTQIA rights and humankind, just all of these things. It's our religious freedoms and personal speech, like all of these things you can take a side on. Do you know what I mean? Because people deserve to be protected. People deserve to be able to live. People deserve to be able to feel safe as who they are. That is a clear-cut, unequivocal, don't need to argue about it side. Right and wrong, clear. But all the nuances on how we get there, that's the conversation. And what happens when we get caught up in things that polarize us, that put us on one side or the other, is that we stop having conversations. We start seeing the person across the table. We start seeing our neighbor as someone who's against us and not necessarily someone who is very similar to us, who has a desire to feel safe, who has a desire to feel loved, who has a desire to feel hope, who just wants to show up in the world and feel like they matter. And that's the same thing you want for yourself, right? And it's the same thing you want for your littles. It's the same thing I want for you. And we may look at how we get there a little differently, but those conversations, we can find a middle as long as we keep having them. But once we believe those narratives that say you need to pick a side and stay there, and no matter what, this is who you are and it defines everything, and you're not allowed to evolve and you don't have space to change, and we're not going to create an environment where you have access to tools to change. We're just going to say this is who you are and that's all you'll ever be. Well, I don't know if that's a world I want to live in, because as you've been hearing on this podcast, I am evolving. I am a hot mess. And all I can ask for is grace as I make my mistakes, and hopefully tools and feedback and opportunities so I can change and be better. And that's what I try to do with you here. I'm trying to take everything I'm learning and bringing it to you. So one, you don't have to make my mistakes. And two, you can stay encouraged in the hot mess that you're dealing with day in and day out. And three, so that you know that I'm always a safe place for you to come to say, look, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm glad we get to do life together, because here's where I'm stuck. And I know that you'll try to at least point me in the right direction. And I think that's kind of what we all want to be for each other. Because what better way to move ourselves forward than to not make ourselves content by getting all caught up in the junky content? So friend, go ahead and indulge a little bit. Have a sweet here once in a while. Lean in on a couple of reality programs and maybe keep up with the latest happenings with the celebrities. But make sure that no matter what happens, you don't get caught up in the headlines and forget that everyone is human. We all deserve to have grace, so be generous with it.